Oh boy. Oh boy. What a day to be alive. Welcome to the stream. I know it's an awkward time. 4 o'clock in the afternoon. People are at work. People are in the office. But we've got the big news. And when you get the big news, you want to go live and react to the situation. Everyone seems to be very happy. I, of course, am red in the face from absolute delight. Fist pumping. I was playing some darts. I was taking a little break from what's been quite a frustrating day at work, playing some darts. Joe Sansom hits me with a big old Lyle Thomas bomber, and we are live, ready to react to the big old news that Oscar Bob is on his way to Fulham FC. Right. Absolutely fantastic news. £27 million. So I don't know how we've haggled that. 20 million, 20% sell-on fee as well. It's absolutely superb news. And again, superb haggling from Fulham. And this is what happens a lot of the time when Fulham go in for players. There's an asking price, and Fulham don't just roll over and say, yeah, all right, we'll pay that. There's an element of we want to get the best deal out of this. And getting someone just texted me on Patreon saying, 35 million down to 27 is some business. It is. It's fantastic. As Cal says, 35 down to 27, what a deal. Now, matching, what I don't know what necessarily matching, what's it say again? Matching rights. I don't know what that really means, but I've never really heard that expression before. If someone knows what it means, you're better than you're better at my job than I am. So yeah, fantastic, fantastic stuff. Medical pending, of course, which obviously takes a couple of days. Today is what, Wednesday. If I think he flies in tomorrow. There is a chatter of a private jet going from Manchester to Farnborough. Is that right? Farnborough tomorrow. And I think that's public knowledge. I think people can just look that up on whatever it is the website is. I don't really know what it is, but here we go. City will be able to match any future bids made for him, essentially first refusal. Oh, okay. Well, that's that. So it's almost like a buyback clause, almost. But hey, let's hope we can just enjoy him for a few years. I wonder what sort of contract he's going to be on as well. How many years? I need to have a little look at Twitter to see if there's any information around that. But I thought I'd just jump on live to react to the big news. And you know what? I bided my time. I was like, I'm not going to go. Was it Monday? Some news came out, and I was like, nah, it's not big news. It's not enough to go live and chat about it. Yesterday was insanely frustrating as a day. It was one of my least favorite days of the year so far. Really, really difficult day. And then, yeah, today it happens while I play darts in my brother's bedroom with 2 darts instead of 3. Here we go. David Ornstein's just gone as well. David Ornstein has just tweeted as well. Let's have a little gander green lane at what he's said, and then we can retweet that as well. Okay, so here we go. Fulham reach agreement with Manchester City to sign Oscar Bob. Deal for 22-year-old worth £27 million plus Man City retain matching rights on future offers and a 20% sell-on clause. Norway international expected to undergo medical on Thursday, so tomorrow. So maybe that flight is Solomon Teru. So Joe Sanson texted me earlier today saying there's a flight booked, a private jet from Manchester to London or Farnborough, whatever is it. Farnborough is what they use, and yeah, that's fantastic. Medical on Thursday, game on Sunday. He could be registered in time. I suppose if we're playing Sunday, he's got to be registered by 12 o'clock on Saturday, perhaps. Take the savings and close the Pepe deal. Yeah, and some. Yeah, the Pepe deal. No, medical not done. Medical doing medical on Thursday. VV Sand XD. Yeah, really, really excited. Of course, been waiting for this news for quite a while, and Fulham not doing all their business on deadline day, which is good. What does this mean? Well, for context, do you know what? I was sort of speaking on Patreon this morning, and I was like, we can't be selling Adama if we're not 100% sure we're getting in Oscar Bob. We wouldn't have signed off on that deal. There's just absolutely no way, because that was what Silva said. Oh, he's restructured his tweet now. Yeah, it's basically the same tweet. He's basically just said a new version of it. Oh, now he's deleted it completely. Maybe he's just he's redoing it. David Ornstein's taken down the tweet. I wouldn't panic. He's probably just, sometimes these things happen. I don't know. I have to unretweet that and wait for the new one to come through. There's no way we would have signed off on selling Adama Traore. What's the story on Pepe? Hearing something new every day. I still think Pepe gets done. I really do. I think the club are. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano. Oh, that's not Fulham. That's Udinese. I saw black and white and suddenly got all excited again. I think a lot depends on the Scampian Ps tonight. If PSV don't qualify for the playoffs, then I think Pepe probably will go, and I think that Fulham will get the deal done. As you say, there's a lot of. Do you know what's really interesting? And I mentioned it just 2 minutes ago, but I'll go into it a little bit deeper. Is the fact that people are saying, why are we taking so long to do deals and blah 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 blah. 100%, it's frustrating. This week has been a frustrating a frustrating wait. But when you realize, or you find out on Monday that, or even when this deal first came about, that City want £35 million, and then you find out that there's an agreement, and here we go at £27 million. That is why it takes so long. And do you want to wait to get a better deal? Yeah. Okay, I can understand on deadline day when we were all sweating over Kevin and the deal got done at a better rate than a better deal that we thought was going to happen. That is why you wait. And I think that the level of I think that Fulham do have a level of incredible negotiation. Bernd Leno, Smith Rowe, Kevin, now with Bob, I can name probably a few others. When we do deals, the reason they take a long time to get over the line is because there's an element of intense and long negotiation to get a team like Man City down from 35. I don't know why a team like City, that's not relevant, but to get maybe a fellow Premier League side who, for a 22-year-old who is, they value it at 35 million, we get him down to 27. I think it's fantastic, smart business, and I'm glad it didn't get dragged all the way to Monday, which is fantastic. So yeah, this is great stuff. This is great stuff. Give me just a second. I'm just going to double check something. Yeah, once he's taken down his tweet completely, he's probably restructuring it. And yeah, Lyle Thomas, who has been pretty much with this whole deal the whole time. He's been the one who has been reporting on it this whole time. That means we can go to a press conference on Friday knowing that BOBB is in the building, which is great, because I think medicals usually at Fulham take 1 or 2 days. So he'll be in the building anyway on Friday, even if he signed on Thursday, he'll be here on Friday. Team travel up on Saturday. So there will be some questions about BOBB. And I think Marco Silva will just have to put his hand up and say, yeah. Because I think the only one time that I've been in a press conference with Marco Silva where he's confirmed a player is joining, or saying he said it was close, was Joachim Andersen. He said, "Oh, Joachim Andersen is close," because I think he was in the building on the day of the press conference. I remember him obviously saying that Mitrovic was leaving after the Brentford game, gutting as that was, and of course the one with Adama Traore as well. Give me a second. I'm just gonna. I can't be doing this the whole stream. Anyway, so yeah, really excited. I think to replace a player like Adama, who wasn't really pulling up any trees in this season at all, with a young player in Oscar BOBB, who's got a load of potential. It's a World Cup year, so he'll want to hit the ground running as well to get into that squad. I think this is very smart business. And I say very smart business because of the player we're signing, and then you look at the deal and the fee that we're paying compared to what they want. Okay, 20% for sell-on fee and matching rights as well. But will Man City be wanting to sign back Oscar BOBB in 3 years' time or 2 years' time? Only if they're greedy, really. I know that there's been a few times they've tried to buy back a few players. They've done this before, haven't they? They've definitely signed a player back. It wasn't Brahim Diaz, was it? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Get a drink down you. Yeah, I'm not only on low battery, but I'm also on needing a glass of water. You know what? My brother's got a glass here. I might just have a bit of this. Oh well. Well, terrific news. So many comments to get through. Let's just do that now. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I know it's an awkward hour. You're probably, what time is it? It's 4 o'clock. God. I have to say, yesterday was really frustrating day trying to get some information what was going on. There was a few contrasting reports. I'm glad no one's hijacked this deal as well. It really has been Fulham. 5-year deal, says FFN. I would imagine it'd be something like that, which is good. That's really good news. Brilliant. TikTok comments are always so funny, aren't they? It's always like, I've just put up a TikTok just before I went live saying deal agreed, and the first comment is, where are the others? I'm like, can't you just be happy that we're signing Bob for now? But hey ho. Look, we've replaced Adama Traore, who was a free transfer, and we sold him for about £2 million, it looks like. We've signed a player, Oscar Bob, who has got bags of potential. So now, on paper, Fulham have 4 wingers, /5/6 with Sess and Iwobi, of Wilson, Bob, Chukwueze, Kevin. Now, Chukwueze obviously is on loan, but definitely chatter of making that permanent. I think that might be a question for Marco on Friday, perhaps, after all this Bob drama. I think that's sensational. And I know, okay, half of them might not be here next season, Wilson and Chukwueze. I think at least one of them will be, if not both. And that really stands us in a good position. Okay, let's go through some comments. We've done the matching rights stuff. Please give him a good chant. No more ole ole. That's from Brian. Yeah, it's a great deal. If we receive a bid, City have first chance of it. Okay, we're going to, matching rights. We've done all that now. How does the 20% work? If he goes back to City, will it be void? Oh, I suppose it would be void. How does the 20% sell-on fee? Yeah, so City would get 20% of the sell-on fee if and when he goes to... Oh. I've just got a text which is completely irrelevant to any transfers or anything, but it's to do with something else. Okay, that's fairly interesting. So we sell we sell Bob, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years down the line. If he goes to let's say Dortmund for 80 million, then City would get 16 million of that. That's how it works. Will he be available for United game? Depends. Honestly, just confirmed. He also then just took down his tweet as well, so he's probably restructuring it. We need a Stuart. Minions Unite. Yeah, I'm not massive on Minions, but that sounds like a fun thing. What is the story with Pepe? Again, I'm gonna watch. God, there's so many games to watch tonight. I think Newcastle PSG is probably the standout. Keep an eye on everything for PSV. You sort of hope they lose. Bayern Munich, obviously, they're sort of second. So will they have much? Will they want to go for it 100% and when they're already sort of through? But you'd like to think if PSV go out, maybe this is the time that the PSV sell. If there's so little in valuation between or in price between PSV and Fulham, I think Fulham just need to pay. And this is the thing, contrasting reports. No one was reporting this. Let's not lie. Excuse me. No one was reporting that Fulham are trying to haggle the price or blah blah blah. What was reported was that a bid was put in on Sunday morning or Saturday morning, maybe was it Sunday morning? It was rejected, and then that's where the negotiation begins. The fact that they wanted between 30 and 35, Manchester City, and we got them for 27 is really remarkable. God, I actually thought this cough had gone, but it's obviously not. Just haven't spoken that much today, I suppose. Take the savings and close the Pepe deal. Pepe Medical, then next in 8 on deadline day. That's hopefully what will happen. We've not been linked with a midfielder. Do you think we'll sign someone? In terms of midfielder, I think we'll be linked with a couple before the deadline, probably on deadline day. It's whether we can do it or not. That's the question. And it's an even, I've said it's an even more pressing issue now with Lukic out. I know he's only out for a month and Iwobi could play in that position, but if Berger or Iwobi, like Berger was sick last week and he still had to sort of play because we hadn't really no other option apart from maybe Harrison Reed. But if an Iwobi or a Berger got injured or a Reed or a TC, we'd need a midfielder. And that's why we need that cover now. But what a signing this is for Oscar Bob. I mean, in Oscar Bob. Yeah, we've sort of talked about that, Connor. Like it or not, I think the Khans do know what they're doing. Yes, the summer was strange, but apart from that, they've come through most of the time. It's similar to a comment I've just had on my Patreon, which you could subscribe to, of course. I didn't actually put the link in, but it's everywhere on my bio if you want to read. Time to give Tony his flowers. Dreadful urgency on deals, but all business done is very good the last couple of years. I can't get over it. I mean, I really thought that Fulham were going to buy him for about 35 million. Okay, maybe there could have been a couple million wiggle room in there, but 27 is outstanding business. And okay, the matching rights and the 20%, but that's all just part of it, isn't it? Hopefully by then Man City are not looking at re-signing him or anything like that. But the 20% sell-on. There was a sell-on with Kevin as well, which is fair game. The selling club will want some of their like even with Kieran Bowie. If Kieran Bowie is to move, I wonder if Fulham have got any clause in that. I mean, everyone does it. So yeah, let's see what everyone else. Yeah, this is one to address. Do you think Wilson's going to go? I thought that story today for Sky was a complete and utter non-story. Basically, it's a new way of telling a story that's been told a million times. It's saying that he's extremely likely to become a free agent. Yeah, I mean, I think his agent, Harry Wilson's agent, is doing his utmost to try and get the best deal for his client. I mean, I don't know how many times it's got to be said, but I think that once the window closes, Silva will have more clarity on how the squad looks and how he feels about that squad. I think then he will sign. I hopefully think that they're going in that direction. That, for me, Wilson waiting around to see what Silva does, for me, does make a lot of sense. You want to know who your manager is going to be next season. If you're a player who right now is being linked with Crystal Palace, you're going to be thinking, well, okay, I sort of know that the manager is going to be gone in the summer, but who's coming in? Do you know what I mean? So once we get more clarity on the Silva situation, I think we get more clarity on the Wilson situation. Hopefully that doesn't all come in May at Newcastle at home, where we're sort of having a lap of honour and going, oh, is that the last time we're ever going to see Silva? Is that the last time we're ever going to see Harry Wilson? I think once we get through Monday and Monday's done, we'll have hopefully 2, maybe 3 players in, and we can look at the squad and go, okay, great, brilliant. We're in a good position now. Now let's focus on tying down these players. And I think Marcus Silva will be absolutely delighted with the board for what they've managed to do with getting in Oscar Bob. That was quite brave of him to come out on Saturday and saying that Traore is 100% leaving. There must have been an element of, I'm confident the board get this done. And the way they've got it done, hats off to them. I mean, really, really, I don't think any Fulham fan in this individual deal with Oscar Bob could have any complaints whatsoever of how we've done it. Yeah, it's taken time, whatever. I think it's been an absolutely earliest January signing ever. Is that what was just said on Patreon? I don't know about that. But yeah, brilliant stuff. And we'll just see what happens with Wilson. I should definitely switch over to YouTube as well. There's definitely some comments over there. The geniuses said this is a fake bid to keep Fulham fans happy. When do we reveal it's a fake bid? Yeah, Shane. Never fails to make me chuckle. Buzzing with that. Fingers crossed we can get a midfielder and a striker in before next week. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And I think that South Korean striker named O is probably just like here's what we could do, PSV, if we lose interest in Pepe, but I don't think we're going to lose interest in him. Okay, let's move over to YouTube. So many comments. Buzzing to see Bob at the cottage. What a front line we could have in store if we can tie down H and Chuck. Absolutely. Bob, Kevin, and now need Gruder. Okay, the yeah. Medical done? No. Medical tomorrow. Here we go. Yes. We have reached here we go status. We'll get a Pepe here we go tonight after the match. Or after PSV. I don't know, obviously he won't be involved, but that would be fantastic. If we can get another here we go, and we're live again tonight at about 9:30 p.m. I think we'll be doing some results. Feel less worried about Wilson going now as much as I want him to stay. At least we're back in the driving seat for negotiations. Yeah, I still don't think that like Wilson will know the capabilities he's got on the pitch. He'll know the relationship he's got with Marco Silva. I don't think that necessarily he's going to look at Bob and start saying, "Shiver my timbers, I'm not going to get in this team." I think that this is. I think Harry Wilson will have his own sort of beliefs that he can keep his place, and I think Bob is definitely going to be a huge upgrade on Adama Traore and just good competition for Harry Wilson. Imagine just like making your team better. This might be the best. Okay, obviously we haven't seen Bob sort of on the pitch for Fulham yet, but on paper it looks like an incredibly good upgrade on Adama Traore, and all the West Ham fans were saying, "Oh, it's really smart business signing Adama Traore," you know. And I'm like, well, have you seen him play for the last year? I personally think that Adama Traore could do with a new environment. You know where he was sort of getting a little bit stale at Fulham. The fans were sort of on his back. If he goes to a new club with sort of new expectations, he might perform, right? And we've still got to play West Ham at Craven Cottage this season. It'd be ironic and it'd be funny. It wouldn't really be that funny, but if he scored against Fulham, that would be very interesting. But it wouldn't surprise me if he actually does quite well there. And West Ham still have a battle to stay in the Premier League, so who knows what's going to happen. Okay. 27 is a very good price compared to what we were being told earlier in the week. Absolutely. We love a Fabrizio. Here we go. Yeah, they do hit. They do hit, to be fair. More than confident Pepe deal will get done now that Bob isn't arriving on deadline day. Yeah, we got a bit more time, a bit more leeway, which is good. The only Scouts Fulham fan here. Love the Bob signing. Unlikely, but if possible, would you take Paulinho back? Wouldn't say he was my lover like Joe Sansom or Rico. Oh, well, but I love him. You know, I'd always accept Paulinho coming back. I think that would be fantastic. But it's just what happens with Tottenham, really. If Tottenham want to trigger that permanent deal clause, then have at it. If not, and he's up for another move, I think Silva would get on the phone to him in a heartbeat. The interest was very real in the summer. And I think that, he could do it. I wonder what his agent, his brother, would think about that, though. He was so desperate for him to leave Fulham. Don't say you're coming down with something. I've had this cough for 2.5 weeks. It's really, really quite frustrating. Yeah. That report out of Italy saying we're triggering Chukwueze's clause in the summer. It's not a source I necessarily trust or necessarily have seen has a sort of credible links, but hopefully that gets done for sure. Give me 1 second. Bob also an option in the 10 with a Smith Rowe, potentially King option in the 8. Yeah. Again, just fantastic. And I wonder, maybe, I mean, you look at FOTMob and you look at flash scores and whatever, and you see like the position he can play in. When we speak to Marco Silva, hopefully on Friday, or maybe even after the game on Sunday when it's all done and dusted, if we can be like, is there another position he can play in? Do you see him playing in another position? And then he can give us sort of the lowdown on what he thinks. You say, I could see him playing on the left and the right on the 10. Then for me, that gives you a little bit more flexibility. Then it gives you a little bit more like, oh, well, Harry Wilson Bob's not going to come in and steal Harry Wilson's place. Yeah, I think for sure that Bob, if he could play in all these positions, that just it is better for Fulham for sure. Won't Adama just be in the same role though with Bowen and Somerville seemingly nailed on? Yeah, but it's not our problem anymore, I suppose. But Adama Traore has predominantly been an impact sub, hasn't he, for every team he's played for, because of the pace he's got. I just wonder whether he's given a new lease of life under a manager he's worked under before. And maybe because he's worked under him before, maybe Nuno gives him the starting berth. And I know that would be far-fetched because I think Bowen is one of the best players outside of the top six. We'll see. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on it. I'm sure we will keep an eye on it. Where else are we at? This business signals to me that Silva is signing the contract. Yeah, I agree. I really do agree. Is Bob currently injured? I think he's coming back from an injury, and hamstring injury, which obviously is not a long-term thing. He ruled himself out of City's game against Bodo Glimt last week purely because he didn't want to risk another injury because he wants to move. Hey, the pool of Fulham. Would you believe it? You could... This is really annoying. I haven't actually been coughing all day. And suddenly it's like you could say Bob would have wanted assurances Silva would be around to commit to us to a big step in his career. Maybe so. He may have called up Bob and gone, look, it's not announced yet, but I am signing a new deal. So you'll have assurances over your manager. Peter Rutzer's now on it as well. Peter Rutzer. Fulham have reached agreement with Manchester City on Oscar Bob, 27 million, with City keeping a 20% sell on. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant stuff. It really is. In fact, Fabrizio has even retweeted his "Here we go" with Fulham. Just brilliant. Brilliant news. But I didn't even retweet the "Here we go." Oh well. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Joseph Sledge 7545 could be the same with Pepe. But then you could say, well, if they know that Marco's signing a deal, surely Harry Wilson knows, and that's like, why doesn't he sign a deal? I don't know. It's all up in the air, isn't it? Yeah, matching right just means they can, what was it? They can match the bid. Oh, what was it again? Sorry. I've just completely forgot it. We'll be able to match any future bids made by him. City will be able to match any future bid. So essentially first refusal. Reverse refusal, basically. Thanks to FFM for that one. Club America link for Jimenez. What are the chances that Jimenez leaves this summer? Yeah, I think that's interesting. Where's the hat? No, back Ali B. Do you know what is really funny, Greg? Sideburns. I looked at Amazon for a Yoshi hat, even though my brother's got one. I just need to ask him if he's actually got it because I can see him on Sunday because we're both going to the game. And he might be able to pass it over to me. But it was 30 quid on Amazon, and I thought, could do it. So we'll see. I'll text Matthew and see what he's saying. Yeah, I mean, Jimenez could move on. He's out of contract, obviously. We've said it a lot of times. He's going to be in Mexico for the World Cup. Club America apparently want him, so anything can happen. But Oscar Bob to Fulham, eh? How about that? How about that? And to be fair, I was talking to someone earlier and we were talking about why it's taking so long, and we were sort of saying, will this get me pushed towards the weekend and deadline day? We were going to do it there. We're going to do the deals late, and it just turns out no. The reason it's taken, I think now 8 days since the first rumor came out, or maybe 9 days now, is because we're trying to get the best price for him. And yes, Tony Khan and Ali Mack and everyone in the recruitment, they get a hard time from fans sometimes because fans want signings in early. Marco Silva wants signings in early. But when you do actually get those deals done, they're usually pretty good deals. They are. There's no, £35 million And a lot of people were saying, because actually a lot of what the chat was 35 million to 40 million. And people said 40 million. And people were tweeting things like 40 million pounds for a player who's played X amount of minutes this season and blah, blah, blah in his career. You're off your rocker. And I was thinking, well, it won't be 40 million. If they want 35, maybe they'll deal at 35. And we got it down to 27. So yeah, those people who have tweeted about 40 million for this and that, bro, it's nowhere near 40 million. It's 27 million pounds. That's just the sensationalized sort of. This is what happens, with figures and fees. They all sort of get like, in between this and that, and people just look at the high number and go, "Wow, that's just ridiculous amounts of money for this player and that player." Hey, Fulham have got a really good deal and they know what they're doing. It may take a while, but they know what they're doing. And like I said on Jack and Joe the other day, it feels like there's a real maturity about what Fulham are doing at the moment. Okay, BOBB 1, Pepe, hopefully number 2, and then a midfielder. And I think we're rocking and rolling, honestly. There's a few hurdles to get over. I said, like on Jack and Joe, there's about 5 or 6 pieces of the puzzle to get done. This would be number 1 in Oscar BOBB. So you've got to start somewhere, which is good. I'm sure the sell-on clause was instrumental in coming down to 27. It probably was. Cough once in the next 10 minutes if it's signing 2 more. Yeah. And I literally cannot control my my cough at the moment. It's like Wheezy from Toy Story. Hackney deal not happening properly, right? I haven't heard the Hackney thing really since probably the summer. It hasn't really been on. The Middlesbrough's march towards the Premier League is pretty realistic, and therefore I don't think he would jump ship at this stage. I think he's a Borough boy as well. Jack Kelly confirms with signing 2 more. Yeah, that's not fair. You've put me in a corner there. Rub Vic on chest. Yeah, is he a good player? Yeah, no, I know. It really is quite frustrating. Say what you want about the Khans, but they're incredibly negotiators. Yeah, they really are. Really, Bobby delighted Cordova Reed that we've got this over the line. Really. On top of that, would you give a manager a 30 million player if they're leaving? Wait, on top of that, would you give a manager a 30 million pound player if they're leaving? Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. Long-term signings. The only thing I'd say about that is like Marco Silva has always said like, oh, they don't need. He said it in a press conference. Was it in December or the beginning of January? He was like, the club don't need to back me. They need to back the club. Sort of like distancing himself from like him being the one that's like, you've got to do this all for me and stuff. And I don't think he was going in the direction of, I don't think that was in the direction of, well, Fulham are, oh shit, I should probably do a piece of West London, shouldn't I? Okay, I'll do that. Let's end it in the 5 minutes or so. My point being is, what was my point? Yeah, like he wasn't distancing himself, saying it's all for the club's future. Therefore, like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be part of it. I think he was just saying that because he doesn't like the whole narrative of like a manager must be backed, It's about backing the club. He's got Fulham's best interests at heart, Marco Silva. And I'm sure he'll walk into that press conference room on Friday and the first question will be about team news and then it'll be about Oscar BOBB and there'll be a wry smile on his face because he knows, oh, what's this about Raheem Sterling? Oh, he's left Chelsea by mutual consent. Well then. Plettyberg as well. Underscoring an agreement between Man City and Fulham is in place now. Verbal agreement between BOBB and Fulham already done. Medical soon as Fulham are doing everything possible he can show play. Oh, medical soon as Fulham are doing everything possible to ensure he can play against Manchester United on Sunday, the former City player. So maybe he is fit and he's ready to go. So if he's signed by Friday, actually maybe it is got to be Friday because then it can't be Saturday because that's all sort of part of the weekend. Therefore, it'd be like more of an advantage for those on the Sunday to go and get. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, any thoughts on the rumors about Liverpool pursuing Jedi? It's completely false. That's just not happening. That's a non-story from what I hear. It's just rumors. So Sterling's left Chelsea. So you can just join on a free transfer for someone. But hey, that's another interesting point before I go, because my battery's on 10%. We've gone from like, we're going to sign Raheem Sterling on loan for the rest of the season on deadline day to £27 million for a pretty exciting winger in Oscar Bobb on hopefully a 5-year contract with a club option of a 6th. I mean, that's really what you want to see. Can't wait. So glad we were here to react to it all. And yeah, really excited for the future. Really excited. Yeah, he has to be registered by Friday. I think that's the case for sure. Adam Forshaw. No disrespect for the fact we have gone from Willian and linked to Sterling to young promising players is such a new direction completely. And that must have been like, I think it's probably either before last summer or after last summer, because obviously Kevin's sort of part of that, where Marcus Silva might have sat down with the board and gone, we need to change our direction and where we want to go in terms of our transfers. I want to think more long term, to get younger players in, to put the average age of the squad down. Players like TC and Reed, absolutely fine to be in the squad because of their longevity, because of their status at the club, especially obviously Tom Kearney, who's been here for so long. But the overall squad, where you look at, was it Cuenca's like 25, 26? Bassi is 26, I think. We don't have many players. Hold on, I can't think now. I'll go through everyone. But anyway, my point being is getting the overall average age of the squad down, buying young players for the future. I wonder who does sign Raheem Sterling. Not that I really care about it, but yeah, interesting. Anyway, the average age of the squad is coming down. We're signing players, 22-year-olds on 5-year deals. It's really good. It's really positive. Hopefully that means Marco Silva's part of this long-term project as well. And that's what we want. It's a good point being made. Oscar Bobb will want to know who his manager is next season, otherwise he wouldn't have signed. Yeah. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. When is Ricardo Pepi having medical? It's got to be agreed first, and I don't think they're there yet. Leon, thanks for your comments. Who's Francis? No idea. I haven't seen. Has he tweeted actually? I suppose he called it a week ago, but maybe. Don't know why that's not. Okay. Anyway, great news. Yeah, I think I need a medical growing sideburns for sure. What the hell is going wrong with my cough? Anyway, any word on Atta or any sentiment positions? Not yet, but I'm sure once we get this done, there will be plenty of time to talk about centre mids. But the breaking news story here is that Fulham are signing. Oh, West Ham have just tweeted. West Ham could confirm that Lucas Piquetar has been given the permission to undergo medical and discuss whether to Brazilian club Flamengo after a fee was agreed for a permanent transfer. Oh dear. Oh, that was tweeted an hour ago. Slow sports news there. From myself, thank you so much for watching. I know it's obviously a bit of a rush when you sort of just jump on and just don't really have a sort of... Anyway, we were talking Oscar Bobb, weren't we? So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we're live again before the weekend to talk about even more stuff. Maybe a certain one Ricardo Pepi or Gabby Sarra or Arthur Atta, who knows? But yeah, enjoy your evenings. That'll make Fulham fans feel a lot better. And now we just sort of wait for that bloody medical to be done, and then hopefully we can get a big old Bob the Builder. Here we go, from the actual club. Thank you so much for watching. Come on, Fulham, and we will speak again soon. Up the Fulham and up the Oscar Bobb. And for those watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. Come on, Fulham.